reps to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coming to you from the Lee Company studio, we are happy to be with you and excited for this obviously beautiful day outside that will focus and feature some high school football tonight. So I'm pumped. Hope you guys are as well. Got a great show for you today, but first, Mo, what's up? How you doing?
I'm just grinding, man. Just been a long day already.
That it is. It has been a long day, but we're here now.
We are here now. We're here for the next 2 hours before we run off to take in a little scrimmage action, which I'm sure we'll touch on later on. But, yeah, we're here. Let's inform some folks and hopefully entertain some folks.
Good morning, JP. I'm starting my day now.
Yeah, well done.
You can
start whenever
You can start your
want.
day anytime you want.
Anytime you want. Yes.
Oh, couldn't help it.
Yep.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Happy Tuesday.
It is a happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here, and we have so much to talk about today. And you know, sometimes in the morning, I go, what are we going to talk about? And then as the day progresses,
And that's the great thing, because if this show had been from 9 to 11 this morning,
might have been
we wouldn't have had nearly as much to talk about.
No, would have been a lot less informative. All this stuff would have got talked about tomorrow. Been old news by then. But instead, we get to tell you about post-19 schedule, which we probably would have known. But not just post-19 schedule. We've got a lawsuit brewing. We'll get to that here momentarily.
There will be lawyers.
All kinds of great stuff. And then we will talk to Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald. And a lot of things we need to get to there. Some Williamson County sports, maybe some motorsports talk. Who knows? That's always a possibility with Joe. We'll preview Huntland football. So for those of you down in Franklin County who missed yesterday's Franklin County, we were on yesterday on the Eagle 94.5. So make sure that you are listening every weekday starting at 4 o'clock, and we'll go till we're off, till they kick us off every day. So we did preview, like I said, Franklin County yesterday. If you missed it, you can go to the podcast, sm-tnsports.com. The podcast is available. So we'll get Huntland at that's going to be at 4:50ish, and then we'll get Joe Rexroad at the top of the second hour, JP. So it's okay.
You changed it up on me.
No,
you didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
It's okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're still trying to get back into the groove, and
Yep.
we're okay with that. It's all right.
Sometime in the second hour.
In the second hour, we will talk to Joe Rexroad. We'll talk Braves, and of course, it's Top 5 Tuesday, which means we got to figure out a top 5 today. We're going to go with home-cooked meals because in honor of my mother cooking hamburger steak, mashed potatoes, and gravy and green beans at 10:30 on a Saturday night, got me thinking, what are some of my favorite home-cooked meals? So we will tell you our top 5 of those.
Do they have to have been at 10:30 at night?
How about this? How about your top 5 home-cooked meals you would want at 10:30 at night on a Saturday?
That changes the list.
That changes the list. No, I'm kidding. No, your top 5 home-cooked meals. The meals that you guys, that's what you want the most. JP's will probably be very elaborate and eclectic and all kinds of different E-words. Exciting. But we will be getting to that in the final segment of the day. But first, our top stories. As we mentioned, post-19 schedule has been released. The bracket is available, and we have it in front of us.
We have the bracket. Well, we have tomorrow's games in front of us,
Right.
and we have a story on post-19's appearance in the Southeast Regional, the American Legion Southeast Regional Tournament that starts tomorrow in Pelham, Alabama. So yeah, they play the opener for the fourth straight tournament, according to Scott Beasley. They take on Tallahassee Post 13 at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, that seems reasonable. 10 o'clock, no big deal.
No big deal. Yeah.
You just got to wake up and go get a biscuit and get ready, I guess.
I guess. Maybe 2 biscuits.
You can, yeah. I mean, why not? I would go get a.
You're familiar with Pelham. I mean, where would you stay? Where would you eat? That kind of thing. I mean, how much, for 8 baseball teams and their followers?
There's plenty.
Is it pretty close?
So, have you been to the Oak Mountain Amphitheater?
No.
No. Okay. So it's that exit. It's Hoover. So 459. The 459 exit.
Okay, so
takes
it's
you to the
down
Galleria.
below. So it's below Birmingham.
It's the
then.
next town south.
Okay.
So there's plenty. I mean, you can stay in Hoover if you want to. It's 5 minutes. It's not far.
Mm-hmm.
You can take 31 south from here, and eventually you'll get there.
Just stay on it. Don't turn. Huh?
If you take 31 south, who knows?
You run right into it.
You'll get there eventually.
Can't miss it. Yeah.
But you take 65 south. It's right off the interstate. It's not far from Hoover, so you can stay just about anywhere. You can eat just about anywhere. There is a Whataburger there, so there's a Bojangles, which is always good.
Okay.
And then Alabaster has kind of blown up
Really?
in the last few years, so you could stay south and drive north if you wanted to.
There's a full moon close to there, isn't there?
There are plenty of full moons in Birmingham, but yeah, there's probably.
I mean,
nearby.
relative. Okay.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you where it is, but yes, there's a full moon barbecue available, and it's worth the trip.
Yeah.
Just FYI, folks who are there and looking for a place to eat, Full Moon Barbecue is a fantastic option.
Yeah. All right. The rest of that schedule down there at 1 o'clock, Florence, South Carolina, Post 1 takes on Tupelo, Mississippi, Post 49 at 1. At 4, Retief Oil, which is New Orleans, Post 285, takes on Troy, Alabama, Post 70 at 4. And at 7:30, Covington, Georgia, Post 32 takes on the host, Shelby County, Alabama, Post 555. That's at 7:30. And we will try to have updated scores and updated schedules and that kind of thing here and on the website at sm-tnsports.com. But again, check out that preview article because everybody that was available to make this trip is not making this trip. Shameless tease.
There you go. It's a good reason to read it. Top story number 2. The Ohio Valley Conference has filed lawsuits in both Franklin County, Kentucky, and in Calhoun County, Alabama, because Eastern Kentucky and Jacksonville State have allegedly failed to pay their $1 million exit fees to the conference.
Hold up. Why are we throwing an allegedly on this? I mean,
Well,
why would the OVC lie?
I don't know.
I mean, if they had paid, you wouldn't sue them for payment.
That's probably accurate, but I'm
Okay.
just saying, I don't know. Because basically, EKU and their statement says they will tell you, they'll tell you why they haven't paid it, but they ain't going to tell you in the paper. They're going to tell you in court, apparently. So maybe there's a good reason.
Are they not leaving?
Maybe they're not leaving. I don't know.
What other good reason is there for not paying your exit fee?
Look, man, I don't know. I'm just telling you that's what they're saying. They're going to articulate the merits of their position in the proper
form.
arena. Proper arena.
Arena, not stadium.
Yeah. No, not an arena, not a stadium, not a forum. Nope. It's, yeah. JSU has not returned phone calls to the Associated Press.
And they've not made a statement either.
And they've not made a statement. I have not called Greg Seitz because I assume he would just be like, really? Because I'm going to tell you. We would probably be among the
We probably
the
should
5
call
people.
Greg Seitz.
Like, can we call him on the air? Hey, Greg, what's going on?
Kind of pull a Shannon Sharp and who was it?
It was Julio.
Yeah.
That's no good. So anyway,
or no bueno. In keeping with Julio.
OVC Commissioner Beth DeBauch said that both schools benefited from being OVC members, expects them to, quote, do the right thing by fulfilling contractual obligations. This is the Associated Press report here. League presidents regret filing the suit, but called it necessary to enforce payment. So they clearly haven't paid. But why? I don't know. The OVC said it reminded both schools of the exit fee obligation several months ago. They were ignored, the statement said, until both responded just before leaving that they would not pay the fees. Okay.
Right? We ain't paying y'all.
Sorry, just letting y'all know.
We just ain't.
We're not paying.
We're gone, and we're not paying y'all.
Could you imagine Oklahoma and Texas saying sorry to that $80 million that they would have to pay to get out?
Deuces.
So anyway, that should be fun. Finally, Lainey Campbell with the upset, at least mildly, right?
Well, she was a stroke down after yesterday.
And yet, today.
Yeah, or a stroke back, I guess, would be the most accurate way to put that. After shooting a 75 in yesterday's first round of the Tennessee Golf Association High School Invitational Tournament over at Three Rivers Golf Course in Knoxville, Laney shot a 74 today to move ahead of Carly Campbell, who shot a 74 yesterday but shot a 76 today. The two of them combined for a 299, which was 12 strokes better than second place Providence Christian to win the team competition at the event.
They're good.
So again, Laney is committed to MTSU. Shot 5 over for the 2 rounds. Carly shot 6 over for the 2 rounds.
Could have shot 12 over. Wouldn't have mattered. Still would have won.
Yeah,
as a tournament.
That's solid, and that's and for August now they've been playing all summer. I mean, every time we've tried to reach John Campbell for something, they've been in some corner of the state playing golf. So, while some of these other folks are just getting warmed up with the high school season that has just started, they've been at it. Because they're from Summertown. And that's what they do.
Well, let's also remember that John Campbell serves as the
John Campbell, who owns Dixie Oaks Golf Course.
He owns the golf course in town. So
yeah, they can, makes it a little easier for them to practice probably.
Oh, man. Yep. Congratulations to Laney for the win and Carly for helping her team to a team championship there. All right. Lastly, before we get to the rundown, let's want to send out our regrets and condolences to the family of Fred Sparkman, one of 3 players, Mo, whose number has been retired at Columbia Central.
Yeah, he, along with Tredarius Goff and Shaq Mason, had their numbers retired during a ceremony a couple of seasons ago, I think it was. I think Fred may be the last Mr. Football at Columbia Central when he won it back in the 2000s. Went on and played collegiately over at North Carolina and at Shaw University, and had played for some time on some semi-pro teams here in the Nashville/Middle Tennessee area. And
You played for the Storm?
I'm not sure.
I was curious.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know of.
Yeah. But we got word earlier today that he had passed away. So,
once again, our condolences and thoughts go out to the Sparkman family
and to the Columbia Central football community.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. All right, JP, let's go over some scores and schedules. What do you say?
This is the Rundown. This is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated.
In baseball action on Monday night, the Phillies defeated the Nationals 7-5. It was the Marlins 6, the Mets 3, and the Brewers continue to roll with a 6-2 win over Pittsburgh.
In soccer action from Sunday that we neglected to tell you about yesterday was Toronto and Nashville played to a 1-1 draw in MLS action. And last night in Olympic basketball action, it was Team USA 95. Spain 81 in the men's game. I lied yesterday. The women's game is tonight, which we will tell you about here in just a second.
Today's high school football scrimmage schedule at 6 o'clock, Collinwood travels to Mount Pleasant. Summertown is on the road at Perry County. At 7 o'clock, Columbia Academy and Spring Hill will scrimmage on the north end of the county. And Richland travels to the Brickyard to take on Giles County. I guess that's at the Brickyard. I doubt that it's on campus. But Richland will be playing football somewhere in Pulaski against the Bobcats.
In baseball action tonight, as we told you earlier, Post 19 taking on Tallahassee, Florida. Post 13, that's at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tonight in Major League Baseball action, the Phillies and the Nationals are on ESPN+. That's the first pitch at 6:05. And if you want to watch the Atlanta Braves take on the St. Louis Cardinals, that's at 7:15 on Bally Sports South. And you will also hear it on our sister station, WKRM 103.7. It's an odd start time.
Well, it's, again, best fans in baseball. BFIB.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a 6 o'clock pregame on 103.7.
Right after us.
There you go. Just turn the dial ever so slightly. Women's Olympics basketball at 11:40 tonight. Australia takes on Team USA. At 10 o'clock tonight, the Dominican Republic faces Team USA in baseball action.
There you go. That's your Tuesday rundown on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. When we come back, Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald joins us, and should be fun. Always is when Joe gets on the line. That's all I'm saying. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be right back right after this.
Parks Motor Sales in Columbia has a large assortment of quality new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, a trusted sales staff, and financing plans that fit any budget. Visit Parks once and you'll quickly discover why people all over Middle Tennessee have been buying vehicles there for more than 60 years. And factory-certified technicians can service and repair your vehicle as long as you own it. Go to parksmotorsales.com or stop by the lot at 919 Nashville Highway and take a test drive today.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. Have you been hauling your own garbage to the convenience center? Are you tired of doing it? Does your work schedule keep you from hauling it off regularly? Is your teenage son not taking it off like he promised when he got his driver's license? Do you have something better to do on Saturday? If any of these questions strike home to you, call the garbage man at 931-540-0919 and your problem will be solved.
you know Tillis Jewelry creates custom one-of-a-kind pieces that are available in our store now?
Hello, this is Rick Tillis, and that's right. We are known for our custom designs. We create jewelry using old mine cut or European cut diamonds to rare colored gemstones. We create these custom pieces for each season. I'm sure you can find something for yourself or a loved one.
Stop by our showroom and try on a Tillis Jewelry custom piece today. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to view our designs and much more.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the drywall that somehow isn't. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coming up on the bottom of hour number one, that was a good return choice there. Local sports talk you'll only find here. Because I don't know anybody else who would let Joe Williams on the air. I'm just kidding, Joe. Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald. Brought to you by the Williamson Herald, the man, the myth, the legend himself, joining us now. Joe, what's going on, buddy?
You know, sometimes, based on my career, it sounds like you're probably right.
Listen to you. Just take note, Joe, of who's saying that. It ain't me. So it's the guy from Alabama. Speaking of which,
it's them youngin'.
Yeah, well, there you go. Speaking of Alabama, did I notice? Have you got an assignment down there this weekend?
Yeah, going to Huntsville, as a matter of fact. The Great Huntsville Speedway, one of the fastest quarter miles you'll ever be around. Going to go down and do a little PA announcing, filling in for Chris Thornton, who's taking an anniversary weekend off. I think the comment was, if I miss another anniversary between racing and super trucks, I'm not going to have another one. So,
enough said.
Yeah, go down and work with my buddy Louis Robinette and several of the folks that used to be at Nashville. It's going to be fun. That is where my racing career started and ended. So
that's where my brother's racing career ended too. He's been banned since 2016. So there you go.
Really?
Yeah, true story.
I'll have to search into that.
Oh, it's interesting.
as things tend to be where Chris is
no
concerned.
doubt.
Joe, we spoke with Charles Pulliam, your cohort, last week during this time slot about the upcoming WCS Football Media Day that took place last Wednesday. I'm told a good time was had by all.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was. There were a lot of folks there. It was a little bit long. I had to leave before everybody got done, but there was a great a pre-event synopsis that pretty much, I think, caught everybody up, and I think it's going to be an interesting year, is the way I will put it. In Williamson County.
But one of the highlights before the year even gets started, couple more folks getting some artificial turf up that way that will debut in a few weeks.
3 schools are getting the turf. Centennial, trying to remember, Centennial, Ravenwood, and Fairview. And that will leave just Independence and Summit with natural grass, and they get turf next year is the plan. So by the start of the 2022 season, every high school in Williamson County will have turf. And I'll tell you what's really funny. I went over the stuff at Centennial looks really good. I drove by there the other day. Haven't had a chance to get out to Fairview yet, but Chris Hughes is excited, and the scoreboard and the video board are all together now. This guy does more quietly out there than you can imagine. I found something today, going through some records, cleaning some stuff out, and found some notes from 2009 and 2010 when the Centennial Cougar Athletic Club first started talking about turf.
It wasn't that long ago, I don't guess. Just a decade, no big deal.
Yeah, just 10 years to get it here.
Well, some people don't. There are some people who don't like the turf. And
that is true.
And I will tell you, if in the event that Brian Coleman ever returns to his former offensive mindset, he won't like having turf. He will not want turf. He will say, please let me have this grass back.
Rip it up.
Rip it up. We're playing out here on the practice field from now on.
Well,
if there's a coach that would do that, it would be Brian Coleman.
Yeah. The turf kind of evens some things out. I can remember even, good God, I realized 40 years ago when I was playing, the one thing we did have, we had pretty decent speed at some skilled spots. And you go play these teams and figure out they didn't cut the grass this week for a reason.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All the time.
Or you find out, the sprinklers went off this afternoon.
Darndest thing. Hate when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, hey, tell me about the Centennial Field, because even though it's right around the corner, I've not gotten a chance to go check it out. Did they go powder blue in the end zones?
Yeah, it's a little darker than that. More of a Carolina.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Close enough.
But it looks really good. I am anxious to see Ravenwood, because I can just imagine what it's going to look like. Hughes, of course, asked for black turf with yellow with yellow.
Of course
line.
he did.
Yeah, he didn't get that.
But that's what he asked for.
Centennial went with the Power C at the 50.
I have not been that far in. They're pretty protective right now. I've been able to get to the edges, and I did not look in the middle.
Okay.
I would think that's what they were doing.
Ravenwood going with the logo or with the big R in the middle? Do we know?
Guaranteed it's that logo head.
I would think it would be the logo.
Their logo is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: because you're going to be doing more than football.
That's true.
I would expect them to see kind of like Franklin went with the Power F in the middle. I think is what you'll see at Ravenwood, because the beautiful part of the turf is now the lacrosse team has a place to play. The soccer teams have a place to play. So many sports can use it and not worry about tearing it up.
Right. And I guess there was some concern with the change in the mascot / nickname at Franklin last year that there were going to have to be some alterations to the field. But I don't remember the previous nickname appearing anywhere on the field. Can you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, was it in the end zone?
Yeah, they had to redo. I think they had to redo one of the end zones. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm a fan of the turf because of the versatility.
Right.
I think allowing the soccer teams to be able to play on it and that sort of thing. I think it's fantastic, especially like you said, lacrosse. Don't let any of my friends in Trussville, Alabama, hear that you guys are letting lacrosse use the stadium, because those folks down there have been having a well of a time trying to just get access to play on their high school stadium. And is that not just ridiculous? So thank you guys for being smart enough to let other people use the stadium.
If for no other reason than to just kind of head off some
well
had
at the time.
blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, the biggest argument about turf, the negative, has always been the cost. But if you, I think these fields are probably going to be $750,000. I mean, the price has come down from what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say since you're getting 3, you can get them for $600.
Right.
Just use that number. Well, typically the football team alone is investing somewhere between 40 and 60 a year to take care of their fields.
So
between cuts and the whole 9 yards.
So
now,
multiply that by what, 10, 15
at least
years?
10.
Yeah.
10 years. Figure 10 years. You paid for itself football alone. Now soccer doesn't have that nightmare other than just trying to keep the practice field going. Same for all the other sports. All of a sudden it becomes, everybody goes, oh, it's all that money in Williamson County. No, it becomes good.
Cost effective.
Stewards. Yeah, it's cost effective, and somebody's being a good steward of the money.
And it's not just the money; it's the time. I mean, I talked to Kit Hartsfield yesterday, and he said, "I've just been out here painting the field all day." And I said, "Yeah, the perils of working at 2A football." He goes, "Well, we're 6A too if you ain't got turf."
Yeah,
so, I mean, head coaches are out there painting the fields. They got better things they can be doing.
Oh yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I would not be surprised to start seeing some discussion about infield turf for baseball fields around here at some point.
I'm a fan of that more than I am anything. Especially those if you have to wash the uniforms or don't have to wash the uniforms.
I'm still not I'm still not sure where I stand with grass versus turf for baseball / softball at the high school level. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I don't
know what it does with the ball on ground balls. I'm curious.
Well, Vanderbilt will tell you not much of anything.
I'll tell you one thing though, and watching the Class A state tournament that was played at Riverdale this past spring, if you're not used to sliding on it,
it can get weird.
You can overslide, and there are outs to be gotten on defense, or made on offense if you're not careful. So if you've not played on it before and then you go play on it, there's certainly an adjustment to be made.
We saw some softball players hanging on for dear life on second base.
Yeah. You don't touch the bag, you grab it.
Yeah, you have to grab it. Yeah.
You really do. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald visiting with us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today. Joe, anything come out of that media day of enlightenment?
I don't think there were any great surprises. Everybody pretty well played their hands close to their vest. It's going to open up, I think, pretty much what everybody would expect. For the most part, we know, I think, who to watch. I'm not sure anybody went, okay, by the way, here's a breakout kid that's going to have a breakout year. I think the biggest question mark is the new quarterback at Ravenwood, who comes out of Texas so highly. Touted. I started to say recruited. Comes out of Texas.
Well, he's pretty highly recruited as well. He committed to Florida State, but
yeah. Well, I was thinking to get here. Here's, and I say that with tongue in cheek because I know Will Hester's not going to do anything that he shouldn't. But look, guys, fact of the matter is, Williamson County schools recruit
themselves.
Outstanding students and athletes
without anybody having to do a thing. Yep.
I mean, and when I say that, I don't mean that in the sense that most folks would think, oh, well, they go out and look to find. No, kids are coming here.
Yep.
Parents are coming here. We've got this huge influx, and the what was once an anomaly is now the standard, and that is, okay, I've been transferred to the Nashville area. Okay, we want to live in Williamson County. Okay, let's go find the school that fits best, and then we'll buy a house there.
Yep.
You just go buy a house and say, okay, this is the school you're going to.
Yep.
That's not necessarily the case anymore. You're right. And what's interesting about this media day, I love the fact that, you get a chance to see all of those teams and coaches in one location. It's fantastic, and they do a great job with it. It's just amazing to me how, I guess, forthcoming those coaches are most of the time. They don't. Yes, they play their hands close to their chest, but they really open up to the media in Williamson County a little bit more than anybody else, and that's saying something.
I think the coaches in Williamson County, from top to bottom, including the 2.5 new coaches, this year with Alex Melton going to Franklin, Clint Finch taking over at Brentwood, and Will Hester coming back to Ravenwood. I think those guys appreciate what the media does for them and their programs in a way that not everybody necessarily does.
Exactly.
Well, and I think more than that, I think the local media, I'll put it that way, has earned some trust to where they feel like they can do that. I think the coaches are probably, and players too, to be honest, are probably more open with the local media on a whole than they are anywhere else.
Sure, because they see y'all.
Because, well, they see the same folks, and most of them have been here long enough that we've all had situations where coaches said, "Look, I can't talk about this yet, but here's what's going to happen," and it doesn't get out.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big key. Is
I think I'm not sure openness. I think I'd use the word respect between us.
Right.
Mutual respect, and if you have that, it works great for both parties.
And for the most part, those coaches have been around long enough for the media corps that works around Williamson County to earn that respect, and it just kind of becomes a circular situation there.
I was going to say, Coach Melton's been around at Summit for 4 or 5 years. Coach Finch, I mean, he used to be the softball coach too. I mean, he's been at Brentwood forever. Coach Hester, of course, was an assistant for a long time and became a head coach before he left. I mean, these are all folks that we've seen, we've talked to, we've dealt with before. I think they have much more trust in the local media and what they can say than maybe the folks above them do.
We say all of that to say this. If you're looking for the best high school sports coverage in and around Williamson County, no better place than the Williamson Herald, williamsonherald.com. You can subscribe, call 615-790-6465. Email them, web at williamsonherald.com. Joe Williams, appreciate your time and enjoy Hunts Vegas this weekend. It's a blast.
It'll be good. Of course. Did I hear you say trustful?
Yeah.
You said okay. That explains a whole lot. Okay.
Yeah, I spent 2 years down there before at the Trustful Tribune before coming up here. So
that explains a lot.
If you only knew. I will tell you, I've never had to deal with some of the issues that I've dealt with that I had to deal with down there that I've not had to deal with them up here. So I'm not too upset about it, I can tell you.
Well, one day, and I know you're tight on time, one day we all need to have that discussion, though, comparing Tennessee football to Alabama football on the high school level.
We have it all the time.
Oh, okay. Well.
But we do need to include you in it.
And
yes.
we need to get some outside influence on that. Maybe a third vote would be ideal, Joe.
We ought to drag Will Hester in, having seen both sides of it.
There you go.
We'll have lunch one day. That'll be fun.
Hey, Joe?
Yeah, because we couldn't have that conversation on the air.
No, not at all.
I'll record it. Don't worry.
Attaboy.
Joe, enjoy your Tuesday evening. We'll talk to you.
Sir. You guys have a great one.
All righty.
Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We're going to take a break. When we come back, folks in Franklin County, turn up the radio. We're talking Huntland football on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. We'll be right back right after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as reported by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or a snack shake. And for the low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Nice Traeger grill. Thanks, man. Hiller gave it to us for free when I bought my new HVAC unit. We also upgraded to a tankless water heater and got this free Yeti cooler. What a deal.
This month, when you buy select new HVAC systems from Hiller, we'll give you a free Traeger grill. And you'll get a free Yeti cooler when you buy a new tankless water heater. Enjoy great upgrades for your home and some free backyard upgrades for your family. Visit happyhiller.com today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yow.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. 10 minutes to the top of the hour here, and we are glad to be coming to you from the Lee Company studio in WKOM 101.7 FM, 94.5 The Eagle in Winchester. Glad to have you folks along with us. We are on 5 days a week down there again, so make sure that you are tuning in all 5 days. Wednesday, you'll just get the first hour, but that's okay. You can still tune in. We'd love to have you.
I always catch that second hour on the podcast as well.
They're broken into 2 hours, so you don't even have to listen to the first hour again. You can just go to hour number 2. Make sure to subscribe. Rate us on iTunes. We'd appreciate it. 5 stars. Or don't rate us. If you like us, we're Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. If you don't like us, we're something else.
Something else. Yeah.
That was always one of my favorite tour guide quotes. If you liked me, my name's Tom. Give me 5 stars. If you didn't like me, my name's Rick.
I like it.
Let's talk a little Huntland Hornets as they get
buzz
over here. Yeah.
I got to get a little sound effect for that. We need a little buzz.
Buzz. But Twitterless Huntland football. Can't find. I don't think they have Twitter. I can't find it. So
it's unfortunate.
It is. But the Hornets looking to get back to the state playoffs in 2021. They get half a new region, I guess, because they won't have to worry about Cascade.
Well, Cascade wasn't in their region,
Cascade.
but
Mount Pleasant,
and Richland are out. Eagleville and Collinwood are in. Eagleville coming down from 2A. Thank you, Rockvale.
Right.
And Collinwood coming over from Region 6 5A, I think.
That's a tough trip.
That's a big over.
Yeah.
Can you
Wayne
imagine
County also coming over? Yeah.
Wayne County and Collinwood having to
go to Fayetteville?
Fayetteville and Huntland? Are you kidding me? No, thank you.
That's a long way.
As someone once said, that's a mule and a lunch.
You might want to pack a dinner.
Exactly.
Just in case.
I tell you what, though, I don't think folks are nearly as concerned about the travel, particularly when they're going to Fayetteville, as what they're going to run into when they get there.
Yeah, the defending Class A state champion Tigers are in this.
And a lot of those kids were young.
A lot of those kids were young. Although this Huntland team did, I mean, in the regular season last year, they
20-14
hung in right there with them. Now they got drilled in the playoffs.
27-10. I don't know if I'd call that a drilling.
Well, it wasn't close. I think those 10 points
came late. Okay, okay. All right, cosmetic points. Gotcha.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
That being said, this is a team that has, they've got some questions, and I think they're going to have to answer them early, especially at quarterback. But the good thing is they do have Bryson Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnson comes in. He's a returning running back and outside linebacker who earned all-region status last year. So that's kind of a big deal.
Well,
I mean,
he should have. I mean, when you look at the numbers he put up, 73 tackles, 3 picks, which led the team.
That's not bad.
Rush for 1,100-plus yards, 7 touchdowns. So, I mean,
1,100 yards on 150 carries. That's like 8 yards a carry.
7, 8. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
And see, that's the thing about 1A football. I mean, you'd probably like to give it to him more, but you're trying to keep him fresh on defense as well.
That's a struggle.
That's kind of the balance that veteran coach Bob Robertson is trying to reach with a lot of those guys. Another guy worth keeping an eye on, I would think, is Evan Dameron, a senior receiver / cornerback. 53 tackles and a sack last year, which, from the corner, that's a lot of tackles. You'd probably like to see those numbers come down for the good of the defense as a whole, but
unless he's making tackles on the corner, unless he's reading the run,
unless he's coming off, yeah,
unless he's reading the run really well.
Yeah, somebody's running a lot of jet sweeps and he's coming up. Yeah,
one of the two.
But you don't want him having to make tackles 20 yards downfield. That's for sure. So, but
that
he seems capable.
He seems he apparently people don't get by him. I guess that's good.
There you go.
The quarterback position is going to be a question mark. That's kind of where things get dicey.
Seems to be the case for a lot of the teams that we talk about.
It's almost
unless you're Lawrence County.
Yeah, unless you're Lawrence County, you're wondering who your Lawrence County, Summertown, and Summit. That's about it. Everybody else is like, who's the quarterback?
Yeah.
Or you're breaking in somebody new, even if you know who it is, which is a struggle
almost as
in
bad.
itself. Yeah, it's a struggle in itself. Right. But this team will have 2 options, and hopefully they'll get some answers during these scrimmages that they are taking part in.
Yeah, because they don't really get a whole lot of time to settle in. They open against Whitwell, and that's in week 2. They do not have an August 20th game. That's not when you'd really like to have your open date.
Yeah,
because they're going to play 10 straight now.
And with you're not going to have the open date, but 2, that's another week of somebody else getting prep that you're
that
not
you're
getting.
not. So you've got one less week of prep when you open region play at home against Cornersville over Labor Day weekend.
Right. And last year they defeated Richland 32-20. They come over here in scrimmage number 1, and Richland scores 5 touchdowns to Huntland's 2. Now, obviously, that's a scrimmage, and it's the first one of the year. It is what it is. They did tie the game up, though, when Evan Keller, one of those two options as quarterback, Keller took the second team offense and broke free from a crowd of defenders for a touchdown and tied the game at 14 before Richland scored 3 final to end it. So, you know, they got a scrimmage Friday against MTCS, and then they'll and Grundy County. That's on Friday as well. So that's at 5 o'clock.
Okay. Well, it's Keller and Eli Wiggs are the two candidates pretty much at the quarterback spot. And, again, Whitwell, Cornersville in week 3. They go to Cascade and Wayne County back-to-back. They're at home against Lookout Valley. They go to Collinwood, talking about that long trip. They're at home against Cornersville, and then they finish up at Eagleville and at home against both Fayetteville and Moore County. All 3 of those region games.
Man, for Fayetteville and Moore County to end the year after playing 10 straight total, that's tough.
Yeah.
Picked to be 5th in the region by the coaches, so we'll see. I mean, they're gonna vie for that last playoff spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gonna be a matter of who they beat. That's the key. So good luck to the Hornets this year as they get ready for another season of Huntland football that we still haven't gotten word on whether or not they are going to be on WZYX. But if you're out there and you would like to be the play-by-play voice of the Huntland Hornets,
Yeah, get in touch with Al and Jeff.
get in touch with Al and Jeff because they might help you out.
You know who's from Huntland, right? You're a UT fan. You should know this.
From Huntland?
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't know.
Johnny Majors.
So the probably two of the best coaches in UT history, both from Franklin County. That's amazing. Who would have known? There you go. Johnny Majors, former Iowa State.
Yeah.
Great.
The
coach.
Cyclones.
Yep. All right, we're going to come out of the next break, and we're going to talk to Joe Rexrod about the NFL because there are a ton of things to talk about. You're going to want to hear it. Joe Rexrod on the other side of the break. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Right back to the Lee Company studio right after this.
This is Eli Gold, and you're listening to 101.7 WKOM Columbia.
He denies it again. Elisa Brady, Fox News. The New York governor vowing not to be distracted from his job as he faces growing calls to resign over a new report in a sexual harassment investigation.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says the facts are different than what is contained in the Attorney General's report conducted by independent investigators.
I want you to know directly from me that I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances.
Cuomo encouraged people to read his attorney's response to each allegation on his website. He did say Charlotte Bennett's accusations were especially upsetting to him. He said she shared her experience of past sexual assault, and Cuomo said he tried to relate to her and ask her questions to help her, thinking he was equipped to do so after his own experience helping a family member deal with her own assault trauma.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Bennett is one of at least 11 accusers in the report, including current and former employees. New York's Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul says the AG's investigation has documented repulsive and unlawful behavior, adding she believes the women and admires their courage coming forward. She says the New York Assembly will determine the next steps. Many Republicans, as well as fellow Democrats at the state and federal level, are calling for Cuomo to resign or be impeached. President Biden set to offer an update on the fight against COVID as New York becomes the first big U.S. city to require proof of vaccination for indoor activities, including restaurants and gyms. White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki.
We are not issuing
getting federal passports, vaccine passports from the federal government, but we do know that private sector entities and other localities will make their own decisions.
A Pentagon officer is stabbed and killed around the same time gunfire was reported near the Pentagon entrance on a bus platform earlier today. Several other people were injured, just getting confirmation that the suspect was shot and killed. America is listening to Fox News. House Democrats say they are working to reinstate an expired federal eviction moratorium.
Missouri Democrat Cori Bush has been spending nights outside near the steps of the U.S. Capitol, pushing for action to prevent millions of Americans from facing eviction.
We cannot continue to sit back and play with what can or what cannot happen, when something could happen. We need this done today.
Bush and other House Democrats say they have spoken with top administration officials about extending a federal freeze on evictions. President Biden says the CDC cannot extend that order, citing a Supreme Court decision. The House was unable to pass an extension before departing for a weeks-long August recess last week. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
There's a New York Times report that the president is expected to announce a new moratorium in areas with high levels of COVID. Until now, he has been urging states to act. Britain is warning of a possible hijacking at sea in the Middle East.
Britain's Royal Navy says it's detected what it calls a potential hijacking of a ship in the Gulf of Oman. There are unconfirmed reports forces backed by Iran have seized an oil tanker, the Asphalt Princess. The waters off the coast of the United Arab Emirates and other areas nearby have seen a series of explosions and hijackings in recent years, including an attack last week that killed 2 people. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
The governing body for college sports is accused of not living up to its own standards in a new report from a law firm hired to investigate gender equity concerns, specifically at NCAA championship events, after allegations of failure to provide equal amenities. Among other things, the review recommends holding the men's and women's Final Fours at the same site. On Wall Street, a rally, the Dow up 278 at the close. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
A lot of my friends basically went to work for the cartels right off the bat.
Ed Calderon spent his career confronting Mexico's ruthless drug cartels face to face.
Nightly raids on different houses and places where people were suspected of storing drugs.
The former paramilitary law enforcement officer was born and raised in what he calls one of the most heavily trafficked cities on the planet, Tijuana.
The vehicle carrying this man, the assistant chief of Tijuana's municipal police, sits riddled with bullets.
He was found probably 12 hours later with his ID screwed into his forehead, tortured to death, basically. It scared the out of all of us.
Ed acquired a set of unique survival skills that has earned him the nickname the Sneak Reaper. A bag of tricks that make special operators nervous and maybe even a little jealous.
From preps to pros and everything in between, it's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Hour number 2 of the show, and we are proud to have you guys along with us on WKOM 101.7 FM, WZYX 94.5 The Eagle, Facebook, Twitter, sm-tnsports.com. Where not LinkedIn.
Not LinkedIn?
That's such a hassle.
Slacker.
Such a hassle.
Too soon, Mo.
LinkedIn is
Too soon.
absolutely the dumbest. You have to apply to be able to go live on there. First of all,
apply.
You have to apply.
Each time.
No, just once. But you're not that important, LinkedIn.
Wow.
I get it. You're trying not to be Facebook, but have you read your timelines lately? Just don't. Just don't. It's not worth it. Anyway, we try.
Okay, so we're not on LinkedIn.
And we're not going to be.
Okay.
I tried it yesterday. It was, I thought I had it ready to go. They said, you can get ready an hour before the show. Well, at 42 minutes before the show, I get the link and I have to go change the link every day. And so I get in there and I'm like, all right, cool. Here we go. 5 minutes before the show, your link has expired. Well, then why did you give me a link? You said I could get ready an hour before. And now,
but it said you could get it ready an hour before, not 42 minutes.
Clearly, this is a problem. So anyway, you can find us everywhere that matters,
except LinkedIn.
Everywhere that matters. Twitter at SM_TN Sports, of course, on Facebook, Southern Middle Tennessee Sports. SM-TNsports.com. That's the easiest way. You can just see everything that we have to offer right there. Podcast tab. If you missed any part of the first hour, go back and listen to that. Always fun to talk with Joe Williams and preview high school football. Now, as we get ready, we need to tell you about our sponsor for this segment, our friends over at Jones and Lang. And I'll tell you, they actually don't sponsor this segment. They sponsored the last segment, but we forgot. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just not going to lie. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't lie to you. I just forgot.
Transparency.
There's
here at
something,
Southern Middle Tennessee
something to be
Sports
said
today.
about transparency. That's all I'm saying. So our friends over at Jones and Lang sponsor this segment. Mo, tell them about them.
Is here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, let's talk some NFL.
There's plenty to talk about.
Yeah, there's a ton. Now, we're not that versed. We know some stuff, but, we're just guys. That's why we bring you the experts. Guys like Joe Rexrode of The Athletic. He joins us now on the Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, and he's going to tell us about what the heck happened today in New York. We're going to talk about the hilarity that is ensuing a little north of here with another blue team. And are the Buffalo Bills really going to move to Austin, Texas? All those questions will have some sort of answer. I don't know if they're the right ones or not, but Joe Rexrode, what's going on, man?
Hey, good to talk to you guys. And yeah, I have to admit now, like Mo texted me, about the Giants thing, and my extent of knowledge of that is I saw this thread on Twitter that just sounds horrifying. I was at Vols Media Day today, so I actually bailed on the Titans today, but yeah, it sounds like Logan Ryan was in there and
everybody.
It sounds like
Joe
everybody
Judge
was in there. Yeah.
Joe Judge is screaming at everybody,
and Joe Judge went high school Harry on him. Sounds like
he went Miracle.
Oh, Herb Brooks.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Again.
There you go.
Again.
and so Joe, my question, because and what prompted my question about this is a tweet from my colleague at the other end of this table, who said, how many NFL coaches have the guts to do this? I mean, he had them running 200-yard gassers, apparently, in the NFL. I responded to Chris that there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I mean,
but testing that line takes a lot of guts.
I mean, I just don't know how well that goes over. Now, maybe this was an extenuating circumstance when you're brawling in the middle of the practice field and your starting quarterback is at the bottom of the pile. Maybe,
Right.
Maybe desperate times call for desperate actions. I don't know, but it just struck me as a little over the top, even for that. What say you?
Yeah, I would agree, and I would also agree with the question because I don't think there's a ton. I think in a lot of cases it's just like hand out some fines or something. I mean, something like that without like bringing it back to the days like when we played when you had to earn your water in practice. This isn't the 70s and 80s anymore. But I will say, like Mike Vrabel, I mean, I've seen him go off and put the guys on the line, have them run. I mean, running to some extent and as a punishment is fine. But, yeah, it sounds like Joe Judge just lost it. I guess, without having seen it, if my quarterback was literally at the bottom of a massive pile of bodies because people couldn't control themselves, I'd be pretty ticked off, too.
There's ticked off and there's Bud Kilmer. I don't know. So, I had to touch on that. I mean, as soon as I saw Chris's tweet, I figured we got to talk about this. And another one that I'm not sure that Chris is familiar with, but over in Charlotte, a guy found himself without a team today. Undrafted free agent safety injured a receiver to the point that he had to be, they had to call for an ambulance for Keith Kirkwood because of a high hit by, I think, J.B. Ibe, maybe? JT. He was an undrafted free agent out of Rice/South Carolina, and I guess he was trying to make an impression, and he did. And
not the right one.
And it wasn't a good one.
Wow.
Had you heard anything about that as you were coming back from Knoxville?
Have not, but so you're saying that he got cut because of the hit?
Yes.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a new one, too. I thought you were about to tell me it was like, because obviously you're seeing, especially some coaches more than others, but you're seeing like if you're vaccinated, yeah, you can come in, and if not, then it's just not even worth your. Boy, that is the new.
Yeah. According to Adam Schefter on Twitter, Panthers waived JT Ibe, I guess it is IBE, after he hit Carolina wide receiver Keith Kirkwood in the head during this morning's practice. He had been kicked out of practice immediately after the collision and was later waived. So, I mean, I know it's tough out here being an undrafted player and trying to get coach's attention, but clearly he crossed the line.
There's another one, just like the Giants. Like, I want the video, like I want to see how this must have been awful because let's face it. I mean, you're taught to play a certain way. You're taught to play with violence, and to make a ball carrier feel it. And obviously, you don't want to cross the line hitting high, and safety is such a big thing. But man, that must have been to be cut immediately like that. Like, how bad must that hit have been? My goodness.
And think the kid had a statement afterwards saying that he's got to be more protective of his teammates in those situations and that kind of thing, and clearly regretted the situation, which I guess when you find yourself off the roster, that regret sets in pretty quick. Visiting with Joe Rexrode here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. What is it about the Colts and foot injuries all of a sudden, Joe?
Gosh, well, no kidding. I mean, it's amazing to think that Quentin Nelson, arguably, maybe it's like their most talented football player. It might be him and between him and Darius Leonard. And to think that he had essentially, I guess, the same thing Carson Wentz has.
Right.
And now it's incredible. I don't know. Is it when Carson Wentz got hurt, I heard people saying, well, see, you messed around with Peyton Manning. And ever since then, you got all this bad luck with QB injuries and, I don't know, maybe injuries in general. But it does seem like with a lot of teams, it hits in flurries, right? And boy, all of a sudden this team is you think about a big guy like that. I'm dubious already of Carson Wentz being available right at the beginning of the season, and then even more dubious that he might be effective. But now you think of a big guy and such an important part. I mean, he's the centerpiece of that offensive line. And then you look at their schedule and how tough it is right from the start. I mean, right now things are they're a long way to go for the Titans, and every team has injuries during this time period and all that, but things are certainly falling in place for the Titans to be the clear best team in the division this year.
Honestly, after hearing Nick Foles' comments about Frank Reich, that if Indianapolis signed Nick Foles and Carson Wentz ended up not playing it down because he couldn't unseat Nick Foles again, I would be willing to take a season split just for that fact, because it would be worth the jokes that would come following it.
Oh, my God.
Worth it.
Of course, you got to realize again. You got to realize, Joe, that Chris is Captain Chaos, and anything that throws things into an uproar, he's all for it. You mentioned Darius Leonard. He's dealing with some injuries as well, is he not?
Yeah, he hasn't been. Now, yeah, I'm told. We had like our the athletic Stephen Holder does a great job.
He does do a fantastic job. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He said the other day, we had him on the show, and he said that it's not like anything significant. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't been out there, and obviously the left tackle, that's plus a high pick, Odeyingbo, who I really like, and I think I love the pick for them. But you got two key guys who are still coming back from Achilles tears, so it's just like that. All this stuff. Like, again, with their schedule and everything, doesn't seem to bode well for the team. And I wasn't sure anyway. Like Carson Wentz, I thought he was going to be just about as fascinating a player in this league as there was, just in terms of no real idea what to expect. Certainly he was terrific a few years ago, and I think he's talented, but he's also we've seen this so many times in this league, and I think especially at the quarterback position. Guys get banged up to a certain point, and they're just not the same. I mean, I think that's what we saw with Mariota. And so I was going to be really, and still am, because I think at some point he's going to play this year. Fascinated to see, what reuniting with Frank Reich does, what getting away from like a terrible offensive line in Philly does. But I had my doubts that he was going to be like what the Colts hoped, and really measurably better than Phillip Rivers last year.
Agreed. That was kind of our consensus as we continue to see all these predictions that had the Colts at the top of the AFC South. I mean, what are you basing that on, especially with what is going on out at St. Thomas Sports Park? So we've been trying to figure that out, and it's interesting as the injuries continue to hit the Colts roster, how that's expected to impact this AFC South race, I guess. Joe Rexrode of the Athletic with us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today. Joe, when we made out the run of show, we've got NFL news, Giants, Panthers, Colts, Bills. I did not put Bills on here, so.
Yeah, there's a floating rumor that Buffalo has apparently leaked that they're looking at Austin, Texas. And Austin being the largest city in the United States, it doesn't have a major four pro team. They don't have basketball, baseball, hockey or soccer, or football. So they don't have any of the. They do have soccer. They have Austin FC.
Yeah.
But is there any chance Austin, Texas would ever get an NFL team, much less the Buffalo Bills?
God, first of all, just what you like.
Don't know. Joe, you are breaking up. Unfortunately, he must be coming back from Knoxville.
He is coming back from Knoxville. I'm not sure exactly where he would be, though. I would have thought he was inside of Cookville. And okay, so do we still have him?
We're efforting to get him back on, but
here's the thing to me about a football team moving to Texas. So Austin's bigger than, okay, you said doesn't have a Big Four
Doesn't
sport.
have a Big Four
okay,
sport.
so San Antonio does.
Correct.
But I would still expect San Antonio to get an NFL team before Austin.
All I know is Austin is Cowboys country. How do you break into that?
Yeah. I can't imagine the Cowboys allowing that.
This has to be a 1970s Birmingham situation where Birmingham nearly landed the Boston Patriots because the NFL AFL merger mandated you had to have a stadium of 50,000 that seated 50,000, and they were playing at Boston College and at Harvard, neither of which sat 50,000. So moving to Birmingham and playing in Legion Field would have made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It appears we have Joe back, but this appears to be a situation where not just the Boston Patriots, but the Minnesota Vikings nearly chose Birmingham when they were trying to get the Metrodome built. And they said, build us a stadium or we're going to Birmingham. Is that a possibility here? Is Buffalo needing a new stadium? I don't know. Joe, do you have any idea? Have you been to Buffalo?
Yeah, well, I have been to that stadium, and I will say that it's older. It probably could at least use some serious work. But again, like that fan base, I mean, man, it's just look, we've seen it before. We've seen it before in this league. So, I guess it's no surprise. This happens all the time. So that's something I didn't expect to hear. I'll tell you that. It's interesting on Austin. I mean, it is a booming, thriving city. There aren't many states in our union that love football more than that one. So, I could see that at some point. I hadn't even really considered it, and I didn't know, Chris, until you just said it, that they were the largest, city without one of the major four. That's very interesting. So, I could see it. I mean, obviously San Antonio. I think San Antonio's been rumored before for other franchises, and of course, anybody who loves USFL like I do remembers the, that they had
the Wranglers.
San Antonio had that's right. He had the Houston Gamblers with Jim Kelly and all kinds of fun stuff.
The San Antonio Gunslingers, the Austin Wranglers, and the Houston Gamblers.
Houston Gamblers, yeah. Yeah,
good times back then.
I think Rick Neuheisel was the quarterback at San Antonio.
He was, in fact, the quarterback for San Antonio.
Yeah, so
there you go. And they were somewhere. Were they somewhere else the first year, or maybe I'm wrong? There was so much movement. It was like the Chicago Blitz and the Arizona team joined and stuff. There was so much movement, early.
The Arizona team became the Oklahoma team the second year, I believe. They were
right? Okay.
Yeah, they were the Bandits.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I love that. Like Fred Fasana for the Oakland Invaders. Good stuff. Bobby Haven. Hey, my Michigan Panthers won it all in 1983, the first year. I mean, that's still one of my all-time favorite teams. Anthony Carter,
AC, yeah.
John Corker. John Corker was about 20 sacks that year. They were incredible, man. They were awesome.
Sam Mills was on that team, was he not?
That's right. Sam Mills was on that team. I got to see them on a Monday night at the Silverdome as a fourth grader beat Herschel Walker and the New Jersey Generals. But Herschel Walker took a little swing pass, went about 90 yards. I mean, it was like the thrill of my life. I get to miss half of school the next day, and I'm watching pro football at the Silverdome. It was amazing stuff.
Doesn't get any better than that. Joe Rexrode of The Athletic making his way back from UT Media Day up in Knoxville. Joe, we appreciate you sticking with us through wherever it was that you were coming through over the last minute or so. And
yeah, sorry about that.
Hey,
we're up the mountain a little bit right now. So.
Hey, I-40 East, it happens. We get it. Hey, appreciate you being with us here this afternoon. We'll catch you up.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All righty.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk Major League Baseball. Atlanta Braves got a game tonight. The Sounds have 3 over the next 24 hours or so. And so we'll talk about that when we come back. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint.
Parks Motor Sales in Columbia has a large assortment of quality new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, a trusted sales staff, and financing plans that fit any budget. Visit Parks once and you'll quickly discover why people all over Middle Tennessee have been buying vehicles there for more than 60 years. And factory-certified technicians can service and repair your vehicle as long as you own it. Go to parksmotorsales.com or stop by the lot at 919 Nashville Highway and take a test drive today.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. Have you been hauling your own garbage to the convenience center? Are you tired of doing it? Does your work schedule keep you from hauling it off regularly? Is your teenage son not taking it off like he promised when he got his driver's license? Do you have something better to do on Saturday? If any of these questions strike home to you, call the garbage man at 931-540-0919 and your problem will be solved.
Do you know Tillis Jewelry creates custom one-of-a-kind pieces that are available in our store now?
Hello, this is Rick Tillis, and that's right. We are known for our custom designs. We create jewelry using old mine cut or European cut diamonds to rare colored gemstones. We create these custom pieces for each season. I'm sure you can find something for yourself or a loved one.
Stop by our showroom and try on a Tillis Jewelry custom piece today. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to view our designs and much more.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the drywall that somehow isn't. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
When the Braves play, Chris and Mo are talking about it.
Yeah, that's trash can juice.
Speak for yourself.
For better or worse, on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Back to the Lee Company studio. Yep, they're fans too. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris, Yow, Mo Patton, JP, hanging out on the buttons and the video, making it all work. Thank goodness, because we probably couldn't do it. That's why we have JP, and we appreciate his work, his hard work.
A man must realize his limitations or something like that. Yeah. So.
Oh, man. We are half past hour number 2. Got Top 5 Tuesday coming up later this hour. Top 5 home cooked meals. Going to be a lot of fun, so stick around for that. Make sure to give us your comments at SM_TN Sports. You can reply to our video there if you want to. Check out the video. Right now, we're going to talk a little Atlanta Braves baseball, as the Braves are 2 games under 500, taking on the Cardinals, who have a median age of 35 on their starting 5 rotation, and they get John Lester tonight, who Hasn't been fantastic.
He's
but
not been great.
But of course, tonight he will be Cy Young.
Which would fit because Cy Young was pretty old too. So,
right.
Yeah. Max Fried 7-7 with a 4.32 gets the start for the Braves against the 3-5, 5.02 of John Lester. As you mentioned, the Braves 52-54 overall. The Cardinals 53-52. So they're not exactly killing it out there in the NL Central. So.
Yeah, in a very pedestrian NL Central outside of Milwaukee.
Yeah. Milwaukee, who we
outscored in a 3-game series, but still lost twice.
Dropped 2 or 3, yeah. So,
but still, I mean, this is.
I mean, Milwaukee's not. They're not bad. They're not great, but they're the best in that division. So that tells you that the rest of that division's not great.
This is the time. If there's ever been a time, this is the time. St. Louis and Washington coming up.
And Washington, besides Juan Soto, who's there?
I don't know.
I got no idea.
Zimmerman, I guess, is still there.
Jordan?
Ryan?
Oh, yeah, Ryan. I guess.
First baseman?
Yeah.
He's still there, right?
I guess he's
Mr. National.
I guess he's still there.
Or Natinal.
Natinal.
Mr. Natinal.
Mr. Nat.
I mean, other than that, I couldn't tell you a single soul on their roster.
Victor Robles, I guess, is still there in center field.
But they're struggling, and they sold everything.
Well, they're struggling, and it was self-inflicted because they traded everything away.
And then you've got Cincinnati. Both of those series against Washington and Cincinnati are at home.
No, struggled with Cincinnati in the last series.
Cincinnati is the Braves. They're dealing with the same issues the Braves are dealing with: a short bench
and a bad
bullpen. And so, I mean, whatever happens with them is a toss-up. We could sweep, we could get swept, or we could split. I mean, you could win, lose, win, or lose, win, lose. One of those 4 options.
And it'll probably be one of those last 2.
Probably. If history, repeats itself. And then you go to Washington, to Miami. You've got Washington, Miami, and
who
the
will
Orioles.
Miami hit with no Acuna in the lineup?
Give me some time. Probably Soler. I feel like he probably.
Soler is a pretty big dude. they may want to rethink that one.
Right. I couldn't tell you.
And he may not be as even-tempered as Acuna. He might
know.
just decide to go, and maybe that's what needs to happen.
Let's go. Let's go then. Yeah. And then Baltimore before getting the Yankees at home for a 2-game set. Now, again, this is the time. If there's ever been a time, this is the time for the Braves to, 1, get over 500, and 2, get on top of the NL East. They're only 3.5 out.
Yep.
3.5 games out. You've got an opportunity.
And you were mentioning that the Mets have a stretch coming up where they play the Dodgers at home.
They get the Dodgers and Giants.
They go to the Giants. They go to the Dodgers, and then they come back home and play the Giants? Is that?
They have the Giants and the Dodgers in a home and home in 12 games, and then there's somebody else in there in the middle, which, I mean, this is the time.
All right.
This is it. If not now, it's
when.
Never.
Yeah.
So the Braves will toss Max Fried tonight. And he's been kind of certainly not as dominant as he was last year.
Right.
He's had some issues. He had issues early. He kind of got on a roll there about just before the break, and then now he's still kind of iffy.
Yeah.
But that being said,
they don't need him to be iffy. Yeah.
But he's good enough to win this game.
Sure.
So long as the Braves give him some sort of run support, he's good enough to win this game. And I read a stat today that Ozzie Albies is like 7 for 12 all time against John Lester.
Wonder if that explains why he's batting leadoff today.
That would probably.
He did bat leadoff on Sunday, and they're basically rolling with the same batting order that they used Sunday against Milwaukee. Albies, Soler, Freeman, Riley, Swanson, Duvall in the 6th spot in left. Jock Peterson batting 7th and playing center. Kevin Smith and Max Fried.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, well,
see, this
supposedly Fried's ERA is like 5 runs lower with Kevin Smith than with Stephen Vogt.
Okay, but less of a sample size.
Sure.
But also, this is why I'm advocating for the universal DH, just so Kevin Smith doesn't have to hit. we can DH for Kevin Smith and let our pitchers hit.
I don't think that's not how this works.
It is not illegal. We looked it up. You can DH for anybody in the lineup. Only in college do you have to DH for the pitcher. In high school and pro, you can DH for anybody in the lineup, but in college, you have to DH for the pitcher. We looked that up because we were curious. So there you go. We can DH for Kevin Smith and let Fried hit. I'm for that. That's all I'm saying. Oh, man. The Braves have to win this game tonight. They need to win this series. Winning this series would go a long way, and ideally a sweep would be incredible.
See, here's the thing. They're in position to win this series because they did lose to Milwaukee on Sunday.
That's true. So let me ask you this. When the San Diego game is completed, will it retroactively take away the record?
I would think so.
That's interesting. Like you could conceivably, as long as you don't continue the streak, you could conceivably see the Atlanta Braves set a major league record and then lose the record in one season. That's odd. Anyway, this is the segment that I always just struggle with. I really do. Because I want to be positive and I want to have a good conversation about the Atlanta Braves, but
it's tough.
It's tough to do. So why don't you just give us this day in Braves history and let's move on.
August 3rd, 1967, in a 10-3 win over the host Chicago Cubs, the Braves set a franchise record with 7 home runs. Joe Torre and Clete Boyer each hit a pair, with Tito Francona, father of former Cleveland manager Terry Francona, Dennis Mankey and Hank Aaron each adding a blast. 6 of the 7 homers were solo shots, with Boyer hitting a 2-run job in the 3rd. All 7 came in the first 5 innings as the visitors jumped on the Cubs 9-2 through 5 en route to that 10-3 victory. 7 homers in 5 innings.
And one.
Wind must have been blowing out.
And one.
Yeah.
You've been on a streak here of us homering and winning lately.
Trying to,
reverse the mojo because it was the other way around for so long.
Exactly.
You have to really work around the 70s and 80s to get away from that.
Yeah. The Bob Horner 4 home run games and a loss and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. You gotta work around those, but other than that, Nashville Sound's in town tonight, and they get a big pickup, a new shortstop. The 21st overall pick in the 2018 draft will take the field, as he was last in Biloxi. His name, which had escaped me momentarily, but now I have it, Bryce Terang.
I thought I was the only one that went blank on names.
Bryce Terang, who will come up from Biloxi. I think Keston Hira. Sorry, Colton Wayne, Keston Hira, all the same to me. I can't the K names, man. I got nothing. He is on the COVID IL just to open up a spot for some reason.
Oh wow!
So they put him on the COVID IL, but he doesn't have COVID, so I don't even know how that's possible. But whatever.
I don't either.
Anyway, so he's out. So they brought Terang up. Gonna be a good night for baseball. It's gonna be a great night at the ballpark if you are looking for something to do. Nothing better than
it's been relatively cool today for August 3rd. So tonight should be really great.
And 7:05 first pitch, First Horizon. You can get a George Jones wind. No, that's tomorrow. Sorry, George Jones wind-up racers tomorrow. But they do get the 7-game series against the Mud Hens from the opening week, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So
it was
Toledo,
from May.
Toledo will be the home team in one of those games tomorrow. I believe.
Wow. I think you're right. Goodness gracious. The things you run into in minor league baseball, it's not just minor league, because when Atlanta goes to San Diego and picks up that suspended game, they're going to be the home team.
Yeah, going to the bottom of the 5th. So yeah, it's going to be a fun night over at First Horizon. Check it out. You have I thought you had this pitching matchups in there, but you do not, and that's okay.
I do not.
Not a big deal. We will hopefully talk to Jeff Hem later this week and find out what's going on this weekend. It looks like Lindblom will throw. Josh Lindblom will get the ball tonight for Nashville, and he will take on Ricardo Pinto, which you will hear about later. The Pinto, anyway. But Pinto is 6-1 with a 4.17 ERA. Lindblom 3-1 with a 1.35 ERA. So that's interesting. Both of them have one loss, and one's ERA is 3 times higher. So go figure. It is what it is. But get out there tonight. It's going to be fun. That's going to do it for this segment, man. We gotta get to home cooked meals, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's dinner time and I'm hungry.
I am hungry.
So
I think it's probably from putting this list together.
That's exactly what it's from. I'm not going to lie to you. So really excited. Top 5 home cooked meals on the other side of the break. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio right after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as reported by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or a snack shake. And for the low, low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Nice Traeger grill. Thanks, man. Hiller gave it to us for free when I bought my new HVAC unit. We also upgraded to a tankless water heater and got this free Yeti cooler. What a deal.
This month, when you buy select new HVAC systems from Hiller, we'll give you a free Traeger grill. And you'll get a free Yeti cooler when you buy a new tankless water heater. Enjoy great upgrades for your home and some free backyard upgrades for your family. Visit happyhiller.com today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Lists are for suckers. Oh, did I leave my mic on? It's Top 5 Tuesday on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Here's Chris and Matt.
Oh, man, that was great. We've been waiting like a week to do that, JP.
A whole week. A whole week. Yes.
Waiting
that was done last Wednesday. Yes.
Oh, man. I was waiting to see that reaction. If you were watching the video, I hope you were anyway. Welcome back in. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint in the Lee Company Studio. Front Porch Sports Headquarters, 1017 WKOM, 94.5 The Eagle, WZYX. And if you are listening on WZYX, stick around after this show as Sports Mix Live. Is that debuting tonight, JP? Do we know if that's a debut?
I don't know about the debut, but I know if it's not debuting, it is very new.
Will Davis, yep. WZYX will be mixing up sports
from 6 to 7 tonight and
Thursday. That's correct.
6 to 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Check out Will and Sports Mix Live.
And if you're not in the area, check them out at, is it WZYXradio.net?
That's correct.
.net.
You can listen live.
There you go.
So check that out. Time for Top 5 Tuesday, presented by Mid-South 5 Fitness. 2 great locations, one in Columbia, one in Franklin. Check them out, steelathletes.com, steelathletes.com, and on Facebook as well. Mid-South 5 Fit on Facebook. Thalia is still doing a great job with keeping you in shape and lifting heavy sometimes. Sometimes you just got to lift heavy. Helps out. Not unless you're me, who needs surgery on both elbows and can't lift heavy. I can barely lift the grocery bags with the milk in it to my kitchen nowadays, but it is what it is. Speaking of kitchens, today's Top 5 Tuesday
well done.
Is...
He's getting better, Mo.
He's working on those
Yeah.
segues.
Right.
Segues, Segues, not Segways.
I've never worked on a Segway.
I couldn't. I'd fall off.
Talking about breaking your elbow. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Useless.
Yep.
Top 5 home-cooked meals. And this is kind of inspired by my Saturday night experience at my mother's as I'm playing cards. And my brother was hungry, and she said, "What do you want?" And he said, "What you got?" And she said, "Well, I got some hamburger steak." Sorry, what? You just have hamburger steak ready at 10 o'clock at night? And apparently she did. So hamburger steak, gravy, mashed potatoes and gravy, and green beans.
Did she make it in the oven?
Or
did she have a little pan?
She buys the hamburger meat that's about to go bad. She cooks it up. So she made some of it. She just ground some of it up, and then she made patties with some of it or whatever. Then she sticks it either on the, just reheats it either on the griddle, the
cast iron.
Yeah, something.
Well, you got to remember though, Chris's mom used to run a cafe.
That's true.
So cooking ain't nothing but a thing.
Yeah, the prep work. She knows all the secrets.
All the secrets.
Yep.
Yeah, she's solid there. So this is inspired by that.
So did you partake
I did
at
not.
10:30 at night?
I wasn't hungry.
What?
I wasn't hungry.
You didn't drink enough when you got home.
It's 10:30 at night.
I had been drinking the straight edge. while playing cards, but not to the level that I needed.
That explains your performance playing cards.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Let's get into it. What do you say? Any honorable mentions? I don't have any.
Nope, straight 5 today.
I got 5.
Let's
Look at us. Well, let's go for it then. Yep. What do you say? Let's start with Mo. Mo, what you got?
My number 5, steak, baked potato, and salad. That's good anywhere, at home or otherwise, but yeah.
It's a little cheaper at home typically. So.
Or maybe even a lot cheaper. Yeah. So.
It depends on what kind of meat you buy, because I like
ribeyes.
I like to get the New York strips. Yeah. So, but I do like ribeye. My number 5 is tacos. Taco night at the house is always a good night. It never tastes, like Oscars or Victors or anything, but it's still good.
Sure.
JP, do you have number 5?
I do. Number 5, meatloaf with mashed potatoes
and
mac and cheese. Double up the starch, baby.
You messed up.
A little gravy?
It's peas.
Peas?
You're supposed to eat peas with
Yeah. No, I mean I've got times for shepherd pie, but this is not one of those.
The shepherd's pie separated though. You got to remember the meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas are separated.
Yeah. Well,
this is not.
By the time all that gets together one plate, it's no longer separated.
Right.
I'll mix some food a little bit.
I hear you. Number 4.
Number 4, meatloaf, mac and cheese, white beans, and hot water cornbread.
There we go.
Hot water cornbread.
Hot water.
It's delicious. My number 4 is hamburger steak, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese.
Okay. No green beans.
No green beans. I don't really love green beans. You got to really like. You got to make sure there's plenty of bacon in there for me to eat green beans.
Jody made some green beans a couple of nights ago that had some sort of cheese melted on top
like
of the oven.
Parm?
Yeah. It was really good.
I'll tell you what's good. It's
fresh snap green beans. Yeah.
Green bean casserole.
Yes.
Yes.
With the French
onions.
Fried onions on
French
top.
onions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've done it. Number 4 for me, pot roast with potatoes and carrots, and the juice that comes out of that half a loaf of bunny white bread. I could go through half a loaf just sopping that stuff up. It's insane.
No doubt. Number 3, Mo.
Number 3, roast beef, turnip greens, mashed potatoes, and hot water cornbread. Deviled eggs are optional.
Wow.
Deviled eggs are never optional. If they're an option,
no, they're
on the table.
They're optional because I can't always get someone to do them. So I get a little pushback on the labor intensive.
They are a little intensive.
Yeah.
Like I said,
it's a process.
If it's an option, they're on the table.
Always.
They might not be an option.
It might not be an option, exactly.
My number 3 is a roast with potatoes and carrots. So it's a perfect middle of the road. You can't beat it.
Yeah, all in one pot. It's fantastic.
Number 3.
Number 3. This is we talked about this before. It's a Thanksgiving morning breakfast: country ham and biscuits with some extra sharp cheddar or Colby Jack cheese on it. Fresh homemade biscuits. Oh, it's just it's fantastic.
Listen, there is very little better than a fresh homemade biscuit.
Yep.
And I have a former sister-in-law who makes the prettiest biscuits in the world, but she makes them with regular milk, not buttermilk. And they taste terrible.
But they're pretty.
They look amazing.
Until you bite them.
They taste awful. You have to smother them.
You got to do buttermilk. You got to do buttermilk.
So yeah. My mom's biscuits don't look great, but they taste fantastic.
Your
which
former
is really
sister-in-law doesn't listen, does she? Or does she know this?
She knows that we think this.
Is that why she's a former sister-in-law?
You don't know how to make the biscuits? You out. See ya. Anyway.
You got priorities in his family.
Oh,
okay,
man.
so clearly we've been spending too much time together. Yeah, because our Christmas breakfast of country ham, eggs, hash brown casseroles, and homemade biscuits is my number 2.
Number 2.
That's solid. I mean, I don't have any breakfast on this list. Typically, I would have breakfast because I love breakfast, but I don't have any breakfast. Now, number 2 is chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
Sarah makes everything. It's a one pot. It's not homemade. It's one pot where she boils the chicken broth and and the heavy whipping cream together with the noodles in there.
You're fine. This is home cooked, not homemade.
Yeah.
You're fine.
So, I mean, and then you throw the Italian cheese in there, mix it up together, then the chicken, and try not to let it stick together. Because sometimes the chicken lumps with the cheese and it doesn't work.
Still edible.
Just throw some more cheese in there. It's good. You're fine.
There you go. Number 2 for me, ribeye steak, grilled, hash brown casserole, little green salad.
What kind of salad do you guys like?
Typically do a spring mix with this. Some mushrooms, some onions, some little cherry tomatoes, and some fashion of an Italian dressing, vinaigrette dressing, something like that.
Same. Okay.
Yep. With that meal.
That's my typical salad.
Now a wedge salad. If I'm going to a steak restaurant, and if I'm getting a salad, the big wedge with blue cheese and the crumbled bacon and the tomato is hard to beat. Yeah, hard to beat.
I'm not a tomato guy, but other than that, yeah.
You had me until blue cheese.
Oh,
ranch then.
Totally fine with that. You're a ranch guy.
I am a ranch guy. I've gotten away
blue
from
cheese
blue
all the
cheese
way
in my
between
old
the two.
age. I mean, I don't hate blue cheese, but
I drink coffee black. I like my cheese pungent.
Coffee black cigarette. Anyway,
cigarettes unfiltered. That's why I don't smoke them.
So my number
one. Here we go.
My number 1 is fried pork chops with gravy, rice, and biscuits.
Gravy, rice, and biscuits. My number 1 is the meal that I always ask for on my birthday. If Sarah's listening, she knows what it is. It's fried chicken with one side of whatever she wants to make. Macaroni, mashed potatoes, I don't care.
As long as the other side is
pintos and cornbread. I want pinto beans and I want her cornbread, nobody else's. And I tried Omega's regular cornbread the other day and it's almost as good as hers. But I won't eat my mom's cornbread. I won't eat anybody else's cornbread. Sarah is the only cornbread that I want. So
there you go.
Number 1.
I will pay homage to my better half as well for my number 1, the Fratesi red gravy and pasta.
There you go. See, eclectic, exciting,
and some garlic bread.
Garlic bread is the best.
And that's all you need right there.
There you have it. That is Top 5 Tuesday, our top 5 home-cooked meals. Make sure, let us know yours, SM_TN Sports on Twitter. We would love to have you tell us what you like.
Get some ideas.
Don't forget, Sports Mix coming up on WZYXradio.net or 94.5 The Eagle if you're listening down in Franklin County. Will Davis. That's going to do it for our Tuesday show. We will be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Thank you guys for listening, and we will have more high school football. We'll probably talk some more college football. We didn't play.
We didn't have.
Okay, tomorrow we will have a fantastic sound clip for you. So stick around. It's going to be great. Anyway, for Mo Patton and JP Plant, I'm Chris Yow saying have a great day to all of you. Stay cool, Columbia.